Hi, Charlie. Today I want to talk to you about a topic that has been near and dear to my heart, and not in the way you might think, for a while, and that is the consumption of alcohol. Now, as you know, I've never actually drunk alcohol in my life, even though I am legally allowed to do so. So some people might say that I don't really have a right to have an opinion on the subject, but as it stands now, I'm just not interested in engaging in that behavior. I mean, if you are interested, that's cool, but you're a cat, so probably you shouldn't partake in that, and I'm certainly not going to be giving you any alcohol anytime soon. But it's a topic that many people are passionate about, no matter what side of that debate they fall on. And I decided to ask my LinkedIn community what they thought about it. This is the third day of my LinkedIn polling experiment, and this poll is from last week. Voting just closed this morning after 7 days, and the poll question is, do ads over-glamorize alcohol consumption? I've noticed in the past that these kinds of alcohol-related poll questions tend to perform better than average in terms of votes and impressions. So I decided to drink from that well again and see what happens. There were 3 answer choices: yes, no, and I'm not sure. And I don't know if you're surprised by this, but 82% of my voters said yes, 16% said no, and 1%, i.e. one voter, said I'm not sure. So there's clearly a bit of a bias among my voters, or maybe just my LinkedIn community as a whole. But I still found it interesting that despite all the advertisements saying that drinking alcohol will make you the coolest person in the world, will get you so many friends, will make you part of this amazing community, that a lot of people still think that it's a little overhyped. Alcohol has no measurable health benefits in the long run, and in the short run, it just gives you memory loss and a really awful headache. Anyway, here are a couple of statistics about alcohol that I think are pretty eye-opening. In 2022, the alcohol industry spent $1.7 billion on advertising. They clearly understand the importance of giving alcohol a good impression in the mind of the average Joan Jane. And 90% of teenagers regularly see alcohol ads online. Now, this could be a complete coincidence because teenagers are known for getting into places they probably shouldn't be. But considering that teenagers in the United States are not of legal age to drink alcohol, it's a bit concerning that they're seeing these ads so often. It's almost as though these companies are deliberately trying to target these teens to kind of plant the idea in their heads that, oh yeah, alcohol drinking is like cool and normal, and it's something that you should be aspiring to do as you enter adulthood. Whether that's good for them in the long run is largely irrelevant to these alcohol companies, but that's just my theory. I could be wrong. The age group that consumes alcohol the most, surprisingly, are 26 to 29-year-olds, and 60.7% of those consumers regularly drink alcohol, which I thought was pretty interesting. I thought it would be teens, early 20s who drank the most alcohol, but I guess it makes sense that when you're still relatively young, but you still have some spending money from your first job, then you might have the highest incentive to engage in that behavior. Surprisingly, 13.1% of 16 to 17-year-olds admit to drinking alcohol regularly, while 8% confess that they binge drink, which I think is a bit concerning. Just binge drinking in general is detrimental to your health and your safety. But, kudos to them for being so honest about their consumption, I guess. And overall, 35.7% of high schoolers have tried alcohol, which I don't know if I'm surprised by that figure or not. It could be an underestimate because a lot of teenagers probably aren't going to admit to the person surveying them that they drink alcohol because they could get in trouble with their parents or other authority figures. But it's not really a surprise that, high schoolers with rather underdeveloped brains, because your brain doesn't finish fully forming until your mid-20s, might be susceptible to peer pressure to engage in that kind of risky behavior to look cool, to fit in. So even though, alcohol consumption is not necessarily the best thing you can engage in, it makes sense why it's kind of a desirable activity for certain groups, especially those on the younger side, to engage in. Anyway, Charlie, I hope you enjoyed my little recap about alcohol, and while you obviously won't be drinking anytime soon, I just hope it provides some extra insights into the problems faced by the humans in this world. So anyway, Charlie, thank you for listening. Stay tuned for day 4 tomorrow of my polling video experiment, and see you tomorrow. Bye.